Welcome to part 5 and the final part of this series on matte painting basics. We're going to be doing a tidal wave that goes over the London Bridge. This tutorial was suggested or inspired on a request suggestion that showed me an image of this kind of scene that is actually not unique. There are several images around that have actually this same building, same scene, same kind of effect of a tidal wave going over the London Bridge. But it was shown to me as an example of an awe-inspiring, fantastic matte painting. And actually, it looks very cool, but it's not difficult to do. It's very easy. Nothing really difficult about doing it. But at the same time, for a basic learning tool about matte painting, it's a good subject. It's also lots of fun. So we're gonna be learning how to combine a couple of wave images. We're gonna be creating a detail mask of the bridge. We're gonna be breaking up the detail with some nice included Photoshop brushes with some adjustments to them. We're gonna be painting detail and flow, and we're gonna be finalizing the image with some of our adjustment layers so it looks cooler. And that's about it. So this is gonna take us 15 minutes or so. So start up Photoshop and let's get right to it. Okay, let's get started. First we're gonna import this wave photo. Just copy and paste it into a new layer. And there we have it. Now we're gonna position it a little bit so it's at the level of the London towers. And once we have that, we're gonna be creating a mask revealing the bridge behind it. We're gonna use this brush first to mask off the obvious, the edges, the square edges of this stock image, and everything that we don't need for now. At the top and right here at the bottom of the wave. Of course, this is just some rough masking. We're gonna be detailing further down the tutorial. For now, it was just roughly masking off the obvious parts to find the shape of the wave that interests us, and we will be using that. A little bit of repositioning here, and once we have all the obvious parts that we don't need masked off, we're gonna reduce the opacity a bit so we can see the bridge, the tower behind it, so we can start masking off the edges of the whole tower, the whole bridge. We're gonna be using a small defined brush, this one right here, and just go about the edges of the tower, masking off all the details so the towers can go through the wave layer. And there is no easy way to do this. You can try and use the pen tool or the polygonal lasso tool, but for this I find it much easier and comfortable to just brush off, starting on the edges and then going on to the fill part of it. But as you can see, you just find the edges. I'm going to speed it up a little bit here because this process is long. And we only have less than 30 minutes to do this tutorial, so I need to speed this one up. But you get the idea. With this small brush, if you need, in some cases, just reduce the size a little bit and just go about masking off all the structure of the bridge, all these little pieces of metal. Of course, we since it's a mask, we can always come back here and edit it and refine the edges, something that we most probably will be doing. I just changed the opacity a little bit here to see exactly where that shaded part was. And just go about all the building. As you can see, I'm just finding the edges. And once we have all the edges, we can increase our brush size quite a bit and mask off the rest. It's not an official formula to remain in one size brush. If you find you're in a part of the bridge that needs a smaller brush, just reduce the size and just find all those metal beams of the structure. Okay, once we have it, as you can see, just increase the size, mask off the rest. This is the easy part. We found all the edge all around. Be sure to take your time doing this mask, because we will be using this mask on other layers. Just go about checking all the edges, refining the mask a little bit, and there we have it. Right here, I just duplicated the layer of the wave, so we have a safe copy, and I'm gonna reposition it a little bit. And again, with the soft brush, I'm gonna work a little bit more on the mask for the edges. And reducing the size, we're gonna be more precise on finding the elements of the wave we're gonna be keeping and masking off everything that we won't be needing. It's important process to see how it's looking. And right now, we're gonna import this other wave picture to complement the first one. Copy and paste it into a new layer. And of course, we have to resize it a little bit, just scale it down. We're gonna use it to cover the left portion of the space that was left from the other wave. And we're gonna pull it on top. And using the mask of the first layer, we're just gonna duplicate that and set it up as a mask for the new wave, so we don't have to go working on the bridge edge again. And now we're gonna mask the second wave, so it combines nicely with the first wave, masking off a little bit from this new wave to let the details of the first wave show through. Once we have this, we're going to be using this Photoshop standard brush, And we're gonna adjust shape dynamics, scattering and transfer, just enabling the pen pressure. And this brush will give us an easy spray, ocean spray look for our mask, so we can let these waves come through a little bit, so it seems that they're ramming, hitting the bridge tower, as I show you here. By masking in this way, it seems like the wave is on almost covering the building, the bridge. And we're gonna be saving this brush for later use. But as you can see, just make some sections of the wave appear to be overcoming the bridge. This gives us much more realistic appearance that the wave is hitting on this bridge, on this part of the city. And also, since the inner wave has some curvature to it, we need to let that go through also. We need to check each wave individually, because right here is a section where both waves overlap each other. And then right here you can see a little bit of brushing with this nice brush. Makes it look like part of the base of the bridge it's being submerged in water. And also here to the left, this big white section of water exploding on the building. A little bit up on top here. Just some details that suggest that the wave is overcoming the tower. And of course you can let as much as you want in, but you have to take into consideration the position of the wave. If you mask in too much, it will look bad. It will look obvious that the position of the wave doesn't relate to the building. Then just go in with reduce the size of the brush a little bit and detail this mask a little bit more. In some parts it's good to have a little bit of spray, but in other sections we want the masking to be more precise. This also helps with the realism of this effect. But as I said in the beginning, this is a dramatic image, but it's not that difficult. Now we increase the size of the brush, the same brush, a little bit more, so we can use that spray look to mask off the top of the wave. And you can see this brush helps us quite a bit in masking off and maintaining the spray of the top of the wave, the foam. We will later come back here and use paint to finish off the top of the wave. But as you can see, I'm saving the brush here for you, so you can select it directly, but I recommend you you check the settings, changing the settings in most of these Photoshop brushes, like this one we're gonna be using next. Just enabling transfer for this paintbrush and reducing the size a bit. We're gonna use this brush to paint in more detail and to break up the detail that is already in the wave. This is another long process, just painting in the lines to suggest to continue and suggest the flow of the wave. Will be a little bit of sampling from the white color of the same wave, but then also sampling from the dark colors of the wave to break up the detail that it's present on the stock. This will help us blend the wave with the rest of the water here, and also by breaking up the detail, we're gonna remove the obvious look that the wave is much more smaller than the bridge itself. Since we're using a wave that it's only a few meters high, we need to break up that detail, sampling from the same canvas. We just need to break up the detail that it's present there, making these sections of foam much smaller, and making them much smaller. Then the wave as a whole looks quite a bit bigger. As you can see here, it's just a matter of going in each section of foam, creeping in up into the wave, and breaking those details apart. If we have a big patch of foam, we transform it into several smaller, tiny patches of foam going up the wave, and you can see immediately this takes an effect on the overall look of the wave, making it look much bigger and fit our scene much better. This brush is only included. It's only for Photoshop CS5, and it's those new painting brushes for Photoshop are great. But still, you can, if you're using some other Photoshop version, you can see the point here, and you can use some other brush and adjust the opacity and the shape dynamics, so you have the same result. But as you can see here, it's just a matter of breaking up the detail in several parts. This makes the wave look much bigger and blend with the rest of the scene of the bridge. Just sampling from the same color of the canvas. Right here we're working with a dark blue sampled from the wave itself. And then when you need, you just sample from the highlights. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit here, since it's a long process. Right here I'm just painting with the same brush, enhancing and suggesting a little bit more of the curvature of the wave, and adding detail. We add a little bit of detail with lighter colors, and we break up the detail with the darker colors. And you can see how this process starts making the image look much more integrated into each other, and the look of the overall wave changes quite a bit. You can see here how with the highlights we suggest the flow of the wave and add detail, sampling, always sampling from the canvas, breaking up those details on the foam. Don't worry about the brush dialog box appearing. I'm just changing the size of the brush as needed. Since that section was further away, I just reduced the size a little bit. Here we continue sampling dark color from the adjacent sections of the wave and light color to add some highlights or to break up the detail, as we have been doing all around the image. As you can see, you can also add some detail to the foam itself. Very handy brush for painting. And it's a long process. It's the difficult part of this tutorial, because it takes a long time, but it's not at all impossible to do, or you need to be some kind of great painter to do it. Now we go back to our spray brush that we saved earlier, and sampling light color from the foam, we paint the edge of the foam, a new edge to all the foam. And this brush, if you need to change the size, of course, right here, since this is on the foreground, I increase the size a little bit, and sampling from the foam of the present wave itself, just painting, and then using the same brush but with the eraser, just finish off the edge. Checking that there is no obvious pattern of left by the brush. And then we create a new layer. As you can see, we have been working only on one layer. We go back to our painting brush, make sure transfer is enabled, and this time enable shape dynamics, so we can finish up the top of the wave here. We need to paint a little bit. So just by sampling from the base color of the wave. Okay, and now once we have the shape of the top of the wave, sampling color from the other wave here, we also suggest a little bit of an edge to the top of the wave. And then simply sampling a little bit of lighter color from the whites. We also suggest a little bit of foam to this top of the wave. Always sampling from the existing colors that we have. And just paint some foam details that match the rest of the wave. Then let's go in a little bit closer, and I'll add a little bit more of random detail, breaking that detail apart. As you can see, always sampling from the existing colors. Finishing up the top of the foam here. And that will give us a nice detail for the top of the wave. And we're gonna continue using this same brush and continue working on the flow detail. And again, sampling from the colors existing in the image that we have. We try to combine the blue and white of the wave with the rest of the water here, that it looks more brownish. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit here, but it's just the same process. Just add flow detail. You can see this even if it's sped up, and always sampling from the colors. We start getting a nice flow, a nice combination with the background and the wave. Just following the flow of the wave and combining it with the calm waters of the river. It's just a matter of continue the sampling of the colors, and continue adding detail that combines both bodies of water until we have a nice blend of the image. I always go back and spread a little bit more of breaking the detail on the waves if I feel it looks still too, the scale doesn't look cool. And right now I'm adding the final layers of adjustment. Here's the black and white layer, just adjusting it a little bit to bring out the colors. And if we set it that layer to multiply, the result is this dramatic color change. And with this dramatic color change, I noticed that there's still some parts missing to be masked of the original waves. So I just go with the soft brush and eliminating those. And then back into the black and white layer with a big round soft brush, just mask off the central portion. This creates kind of a beachnet effect that emphasizes the central action. With this big soft brush, still you can resize it if you need it, but I'm trying just to emphasize the central area of the action with these dramatic colors that the black and white multiply layer provides. And now to increase the effect that of the low sunlight that we have in the original plate, I'm gonna add a warming filter, but also mask off where needed, just to let this warming effect go through in certain areas, but trying to mask off in the shadows, so the shadows in the image remain cooler, but the sunlit areas have this little bit of orange cast on them. Just changing between white and black, you mask in or mask out the effect. And for that same purpose, we're gonna add a cooling filter now. We don't need this in almost anywhere but the shadow, so we fill the mask of this cooling filter layer with black, and opposite to the other ones, with painting with white on the mask. Now we let in the effect of this cooling filter just on the shaded areas, and you can see this brings nice bluish tones to the water here, and keeps the cooling effect of the shadows on the buildings themselves, on the bridge. Now we go to the thumbnail of the original mask we did for the bridge. Control click on it, or command click on the Mac, so we get a fast selection of the bridge, so we can eliminate the blues and the orange tints, the blues mostly from the building. Now we're gonna do a levels layer that we're also gonna be using only for the shadows. So we fill the layer with black, and with white we paint in just the shadows just where we need them, in the shaded parts of the tower and the waves. And right here just suggesting a little bit of shadow from the bridge itself, casting into the waves back there. Just some subtle shadow. All these shadows may worked with the levels layer. And then again we go back to original mask, make a selection, make a quick selection, and erase or mask off from the shadow effect from the top of the buildings, of the bridge itself. So the shadow is only on the back right there, you can see. Okay, that is it. We have arrived at the end of the tutorial. As I told you, we have to do it in less than 30 minutes. I think I'm over that already. So hope you have learned how to do this thing. Hopefully you ended up with more or less the same thing. If not, open up the PSD file, analyze the layers, and you'll see it's not a difficult thing to do. If you have any more doubts or problems following this, don't hesitate, shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to discuss with you the problem, the solution, and clear any of your doubts. Thank you very much, guys, for following me through this series, for following my work, my tutorials. Hopefully everybody learned something. If you followed the tutorials, if you work with me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next tutorials, and you learned a bit from this series, so you can accompany me in more difficult, more challenging matte painting images in the future. Thank you very much, guys. Again, my name is Ed Lopez for PSD Tuts. See you on the next one.